When you first started talking about how your first job is to protect your sources and their family, kind of the first thought that came to my mind is, why would we care? I mean, what's the point? Like, why would you care? And it seems to me like maybe one reason that that's so important is because if you want people to help the United States, they have to know that you will do whatever you can to protect them and their family as an initial matter. Is that kind of where that comes from?
100%. And so you always have this debate between intelligence versus action, right? You
Yeah.
collect information oftentimes to do something about it. And there's always a tension. But you also have to realize that when you act on the information, you could burn that source. You could put that source in trouble and no longer have access to that information. So that's why policymakers are the ones that ultimately make that decision. And you also, so the way you are able to get people to cooperate is because they have a motivation to work with the United States government. Usually there's a problem with their country or their regime, and they want to make sure that their society is free and fair and open, and they recognize that helping the U.S. government have a best understanding of a situation is the most important. So to get to a point where someone's willing to share information that could ultimately get them killed, there has to be trust, and that trust is built on the fact that I'm going to be able to keep you safe and protect you and your family if something were to happen.
Nice. I've got a friend who was a United States Marine Corps officer who was in Afghanistan very, very shortly after 9/11, and the CIA was already there. Like he said, they landed and CIA officers came up to them on horseback. So truly the point of the spear, the tip of the spear.
When you talk to Afghans about the invasion of Afghanistan in 2001, they're like, what invasion? Because when after September 11th happened, we had a group go in, and we had relationships, and this is why allies matter, right? You got to maintain relationships, because when something bad happens, you got to have something that you can actually leverage and work with. And by the time Kandahar fell, Kandahar was a city in southern Afghanistan, which was really like the capital of the Taliban. That fell in late December 2001. By that point, there were only 400 Americans on the ground in Afghanistan, 100 CIA officers, 300 U.S. Special Forces. Now, the greatest Air Force the world had ever seen.
For
but
sure.
We killed 75% of Al-Qaeda leadership and pushed all the Taliban out of the entire country. And we did that with only 400 Americans working with our Afghan allies, right? That was why that operation was so successful, because the footprint was incredibly low, and we did it with our partners.
That is unbelievable, and I think it is a really, really good lesson for us, especially nowadays, in how important it is to have allies. Whether they can do anything for you immediately or not, having somebody to rely on when you're in those situations is really important.